Okay, so we've got a very basic race this afternoon. We're just doing open. 7 crystals. Go kill the Ganon. And all that fun stuff. Oh, we're just going to use Kirby. In the Kirby 64. So yes, I watched my opponent's VOD. As I said in Discord, my German is nowhere near good enough. But it appears that what went wrong was they orphaned last location, the Eastern Palace Big Key, on Floating Island. Unfortunately, that's a tough location to miss. But I can see why it would happen. I luckily did check it when I was up there the first time, because it was quite a loaded location my first trip up there, so us checking it was a good idea to know that there was a big key there, and it kind of influenced the rest of my race. But I can see how that could, if you don't check it and then last minute it's like, oh crap, I need that. I think they still could have beaten me, honestly. But, each person's confidence or desire to continue a race, when that's one of the last things you need, is very different. But here we go. Not a huge race. There's about 40 people in this one today. So. Okay. Bombs are good. By the way, Elcash, the council came back with their decisions on all the glitches. No changes. All glitches that currently are allowed are staying. Yo, Scruff. Hey, early bow. Nice. Waddle, 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 waddle. That's okay. All you tired people. Jo said she was trying not to fall asleep. Now you're apparently trying not to fall asleep. Is there some Sony event right now? Glove and a bottle. 2 bottles. Well, I don't know what to tell you there, Scruff. Like, I could say that was a mistake, but I'm sure you already know that. Okay, it was mostly planned. Fair enough. Whack. That's cool, Dan. Just before the race, we did do our leapfrog for the day. Bombos. Well, we won our earlier race. Oh, you're talking about you. Duh. I'm a genius. But yeah, that's all I could glean from my opponent's VOD, was that they had last locationed the big key on Floating Island, and unfortunately, you know, at that point they called it. So. So they figured out where they kind of got lost, and then once they figured that out, they just decided to stop. So even with how bad my end game was, we lucked out, I guess you could say. Hitting a Moldorm, mini Moldorm with an arrow, good God. Is 16 gonna be an actual story-based one, or is it... more of their multiplayer bollocks. At least. Think of how long 15 took. Good God. Okay. Probably would have been smarter to do back of escape first. Ooh. Oh, Cash, that's a funny one. Are they supposed to be announcing officially the price and everything today? Is that the hubbub? Unknown, okay. I mean, if it's supposed to come out alongside, like, when Series X is coming, I can't imagine they can push back an announcement much further if this is supposed to be a big deal today. But, I don't know. I'm not a gaming executive. Could you imagine if I was? Oh boy. What are you trying to say, old Cash? I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised that Square's doing something like that, given all their recent moves. Still no real true progression yet. And we haven't found a single item here in Eastern. Yeah, we haven't, so we're gonna go for the big key chest. I mean, all I need at this point for, like, Dark World is either the mitts or the hammer. But, like, a lamp is really, like, one of the biggies right now. Whew. We need some arrows, folks. Doing that room without any way of actually doing much damage to enemies is not good. Well, we got to Armos with full arrows again. That's nice. Oops, too many. Well, nothing really prize-wise, but... So that bow was really just a red herring. We don't have a lot we can do here, but I don't have many options right now. Well, there's the answer. Desert. But as always, thank you for coming out today. Hopefully, after the fun of this morning's race, you know, you're all doing well and ready to enjoy another one. Always appreciated. As I said, there's a good chance we'll do the daily tonight and not cross keys. Daily tonight is casual boots, so I could use some boot practice always, especially with how little we've done it in the last couple of races. Red mail, a sword, and flippers. So I don't know if anybody really stuck around for CJ's thing, but CJ was doing not his weekly async. He was just doing one that a friend had sent, so. So async, but not the async. You did your leapfrog? Me too. Lamp! Two are out? Damn. Wow. Or is this a joke? Like, is it... are two actually out now? Or are you just making a ha-ha, like... Joe and I are toast, or something like that? Wow. That is Surprising. I don't know. It's not an insult to you, but you do like to joke around about those kinds of things. So I could see you making a funny, just for, you know, a good one, but... Oh. Interesting. And who croaked? Okay. Well, let's see if the this sub 100 happens. I know that was the one of the estimates was a few people were saying we're going to drop below 100. Titan's mitts. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It's... Those of us who are left are a very serious bunch. So I understand the... There's Ether. So I understand, like, the desire not to push the idea that we will. Okay, Ross. Go sleep. You have a good one. I'll try. Even warboats, though, wasn't, like, super limiting. Book. I mean, the only one that's really been like, I'm trying to think what's been truly limiting. You know what? I think the one that's the most limiting was G-Task. Honestly. Because that was the one that at least had, like, ways for people to be eliminated actively. You look at, like, Warboats was just, can you get a few achievements to do it? And you had a month. Hangman had some active ways. I mean, I get your point, I just don't see it the same way. When I say limiting, I look at things that are hard or easier to not succeed. You're not understanding what I mean by limiting. Wait, do I don't have map or compass, okay. So there's only one item left. Okay, that's all of thieves. Harumph. See, when I look at, like, the hardest, or what limits, is, you know, where do I see people being actively removed? I look at the other contests and go, I don't know, I could be a jerk in how I define it then, but, like, you know, I look at some of those and go, it's just, did you try? So... Oh no, we went down to 3 viewers. Did we lose Dan? Darn. Oh, Dan is still here, okay. Well, I don't know who left. Will you now? Dang. We know the truth. I mean... I'm such an important member. VIP. Okay. I'm not gonna beg for my position. Yeah, you're not the boss, so that's how it goes. The Barky Boy is. Cape's nice. Not needed, but nice. What's the scam fish got for us today? We've already got the cape. If I didn't have cape, I'd consider getting the blue cane, but given we have cape, I'm not going to waste time on the blue cane. Well, that's a scam. I don't know. I don't know. Flute, okay. This one is the Kirby 64 pack. I mean, we could make a Kirby command. But yeah, I think maybe what it was Dan and I were talking about the events and how many people have dropped so far from Club 104. And we had a difference of what limiting meant in terms of the contests. So, and then like right after that, I went from 4 viewers to 3, and I was like, uh-oh, I think Dan left. And he's like, no, Dan is here. So I'm guessing it has something to do with our discussion. And just like the fun of saying it. Yeah, that too. It was just very synchronized with when the viewer number dropped. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, Dan said that 2 people are so far out. One was the person that knocked you out of the last UHH. Pirate Spirit apparently hadn't registered for the event. And then whoever the other person Dan said is out knew they weren't going to be able to make it 10 days because of like a vacation or something. So apparently they like just dropped yesterday. So we are down to 102 possible for the perfect. Can Pod put me into Go mode? What do I need for Go mode? We need the Fire Rod, the Hook Shot, Cane of Samaria. Let's see, we can complete Pod. We might be able to complete Desert, depends on if its boots locked. Skull we can't complete. Ice, only theoretically completable. It would require key logic to work out in the right way. So I'm not gonna assume that that's possible right now, because it's either Samaria or Hookshot locked. Is there multiple PS5s coming out, Olcash, or is it just the one? Okay. Ooh. Now, is the digital able to play at the high quality of the physical or the disc drive version, or is it also underpowered, or is it lower power similar to the Series S? I guess there's the big question. Okay. Yeah, I was talking to my brother about this one because he's also going he's pretty much all digital at this point. And he was like, if the Series S didn't have the power drop in comparison, he would probably have gone the S, but because it looks like, well, because of the fact that it's not, he's probably going X. So, interesting. I mean, it doesn't change what I'm ordering. I haven't been a big PlayStation person for a while, so. Oh yeah, so the race for Saturday. I don't know if it's gonna still happen at the time I thought. Turns out there's a race scheduled for 8 p.m. on Saturday already. So I don't know if we're gonna get the 9 p.m. slot still, or if they're gonna ask us to move it. We'll see what happens. I mean, yeah, my plan is still next week we're pre-ordering. Wow, pod's been nothing. Do I have to go Death Mountain? Is that really what it is now? This might be a Death Mountain play. Well, at least, you know, the information's out there. That's good. It's kind of been just crazy waiting to hear the two of them announce everything, so... By the way, I tried marbles today. Interesting little game. Not even really a game. All you do is watch the marbles go. Yeah, Alakash has been feeding me the infos, Valbo. Because obviously, you know, racing comes first. Oh, are they now? I did not hear about that. As I've said, though, it doesn't affect me anything, really. Because it's obvious, Joe, that apparently we don't live in a global society anymore. Clearly, that's the stupid truth of it. Oh, Red Cane on the torch. We need boots. Red Cane was on the torch, Olcash. Welcome back, third person Dan. So yes, that is that's super important, folks. This will not be a bootless seed. Unfortunately, Mire is a crystal, so we do need the Cane of Samaria. As I said, you know, whatever they're gonna do with the PlayStation stuff, it's not gonna change what I get. You know, I'm an Xbox person either way. But I think I'm gonna have to make the Death Mountain play. I can't get into Mire even right now. So like, even if boots are in Mire, I can't go in because I don't have hookshot. And that initial gap requires at least either the boots or the hookshot to get across. Yeah, they had PS Plus. Like, I'll miss the fact that, like, Olcash said Final Fantasy 16 is going to be PC and PlayStation exclusive, but I'll live. Final Fantasy is not a series that I can, like, would live, you know, die without playing. I mean, right now I'm replaying Final Fantasy X, so... you know, I can play all the classic ones. We'll do 10 and 7 and 9 and 8 and 12 and... maybe we'll play 10 too. I don't know. I don't know much about it. I know it's got a very mixed reception of a game. Oh yeah? A Harry Potter RPG. I love the pendant music for this MSU. I think it's so much better. It'll still do fine. I think. I wouldn't think it matters. Just knowing how all that works. Yes, that. But I don't see it changing anything from the sales side of things. If people want that game, they'll still get it. Ooh, hook shot. Okay. I'm glad we cleared Hera. Thing is, unfortunately, canceling people just... I don't know. It doesn't ever feel like those people get truly canceled. It's just, you know, they move on and people forget and then they're all fine again. And not that they actually are fine, it's just that eventually, you know, the machinations that fought them, rightly so, kind of, like, it almost just goes away. And it's sad, because, you know, somebody like her who's made so much and, you know, should be out of any kind of limelight will be, you know, they'll be still there. People will still pay attention to them, still give them money and that kind of space. Okay, we're gonna full clear the rest of the mountain checks. Come on. Half magic's nice, but not like super gonna care. Yep. Nah, that's... There's truth to that statement, Dan. I don't know. If she was smart to do that, it would almost be, you know, then you'd be secretly supporting somebody who clearly has such vile thoughts and a total lack of understanding of truth and people. You know, it's almost a good thing I know that the kind of character, you know, she is. It sucks that she is, but now that I know, it's... Bye, bad person. And I mean, even if you... Oh, wow. Fire Rod and Boomerang. Okay. I can clear Skull. Oh, I cleared Desert. Duh. Yeah. Oh, I don't disagree with your statement at all, Valbo. Trust me, I understand your point, is that there are definitely people who will not care about all that. But, you know, and yes, there will be millions who are like that, but it, you know, it's not gonna cause me to give a pass to it. I'm just like, oh, who cares? Come on. Moth is dead. We are boots away from go mode either way right now, by the way. Yeah, I read them as a kid, so, you know, they were, you know, partly one of those things grew up with, but, yeah. Either way. So I think what we're going to do next is we're actually going to go clear Ice Palace. And I forgot to click off Desert again. Yeah, we've got 5 crystals done. I can clear a 6th, but... like, I can clear ice with or without the Cane of Samaria, just doing the bomb jump. But man, I really, like... boots, please. I forget, did I check Pyramid? I don't think I did. Because I don't think I've had an opportunity to come this way. Okay. And we can also check Hobo, now that I think about it. I got Flute and did a save and quit. I don't know, Valvo. I get that to you, she doesn't, like, matter in that sense, but I think, like, public figures like that who have such a voice that has that reach, it's a problem. Either way. So, but yeah. Let's just enjoy the race again. We're looking for boots. Let's hope we find them. And let's hope I can pull off the Ice Palace bomb jump today. Valvo, I don't like that as a... That's never an excuse for anything. I don't know if you mean it as a joke, but... I was probably right before I readjusted again. Nice. Need that health. Unfortunately, we don't have an extra small key, so I can't go right to start. Can we end this, please? Bye. Have a good night. As always, I know your number. You going to bed means it's gonna be 7. I don't need anybody to go. Where are the boots? Boots and Mire, I'm guessing at this point. Stop dropping items. Everybody's leaving. Don't leave me. On the plus side, we pulled off a bomb jump today. Butter sword. You're loving that I haven't found the boots yet? I'm glad, Olkesh. Right now, it's down to just like, I'm so worried about where that item is. Like, I don't know. I think at this point, we're down to either Meyer or shoot, did I forget something in Skull? Crud. No, that's the other one I'm thinking about, but I'm worried that I forgot to check a chest in Skull Woods. And I'm checking my VOD for what the drop on Moth was. Shoot. I left an item in Skull Woods. Okay. So I really am hoping that boots are here to bail me. I'm having a problem where I keep on skipping the back of Skull Bridge chest. Under the platform chest. I just keep on skipping it, and like, I'm doing the Moth first, always hoping for the item, and then it's not clicking in my head to go, you didn't find the item, Jess. Like, I have to be very actively thinking about it I mean, there's another location. Like, it could be... It definitely could be in, Swamp Palace. Like, we can full clear Swamp. Forgot to click off butter. Okay, so big key is in the vanilla big key chest. If that key in that spike room is ever a small key, it is guaranteed that the big key is in its vanilla location. I think I learned that one from... It was either Shireen or Gamma told me that. I was watching Vortex in one of his practice races, and I was listening to the comm between the two of them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, if you ever see a key here, like a small key here, you know that it's big keys in the vanilla location." I was like, "No way," and there you go, vanilla big key. Powder. That just opens up another option. Like, the question is, do we screw up big with that Skull Woodsmith? Like, we're one crystal away. Yes. So you had to go to Death Mountain to get the hook shot, to get into Caneless Mire, to get the boots, to get the cane out of Desert. Oh. Wow. It's just an open. A very, very vanilla open. Just waiting for the boots at the end. Went into Desert. I was like, what's on the torch? And it was the Cane of Samaria. And at the time, I didn't have hook shots, so I couldn't even go into Mire. So... just a little bit of weirdness. Nothing terrible. We've definitely had worse seeds, but, you know... just an interesting chain of logic where, like, you know, sorry, we didn't even just have to go up Death Mountain. Hookshot was on Pendant Moldorm and red Pendant Moldorm. Not even green. Like, that's the crazy part about this one. Like, nobody wants to do Tower of Hera for a pendant without boots, without hookshot. Like, those are, like, cardinal sins anymore because of how many people know Herapot. Like, I hate doing Ice Palace without Cane of Samaria anymore because I've been spoiled by Icebreaker. Like, even Ice Palace Bomb Jump just feels like a chore anymore. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, so you had to climb up, like, both of our Dark World dungeons, or Death Mountain dungeons, were pendants. And, like, you know, there was... But the Hookshot and the Fire Rod were both up here. Oh, wait. No. Yes? Yeah. Hookshot, Fire Rod, and Ice Rod were all up here on Death Mountain in various places. So, oh yeah, big key. Ganon's Tower, guessing game. Go for it if you so desire. Joe's already got 7. But, you know, if you want to take a guess, Dr. Cossack for number 10. Kesh for 20. Dan for 11. So Olkesh is going for the idea that it's right side, and I'm being an idiot by going left. Interesting. It happens a lot, but I'm hoping it doesn't today. One, 2, wasn't 3. Wasn't 7. I guess we were wrong to say it's always 7 when Joe's not here. But it just feels so much more... Oh, good. Just feels like it happens more often than not. So we've got 10 and 11. So 2 rando room locations. I love my rando room locations. They're always fun. 9. What I don't know is Ulkesh knows who my opponent was, and they're finished, and they know the number. How Ulkesh would know who's in the race, I don't know. 10, 11, 12, 13. So it wasn't Rando Room. Dang it. $14. No, you wouldn't. You could say it as a joke, but, like, you wouldn't. You look up times after the race is over, but, like, unless you've been actively monitoring the race the whole time, it would be impossible for you to know who it is. $18, $19. Damn, Ulkesh with the on the money. Yeah, I mean, there's, what, 40? I think I said there were like 40 people in this race. To find the 1 out of 40 when you don't know who the active racer list is. Unless Ulkesh mysteriously joined the ladder Discord and all that. Like, all the steps required to know are just so ridiculous. I would not believe somebody would go to that much trouble. Just to be right. Get back here. Oh, dang it. I haven't missed that room in a long time. Oh. But we got the harder room. That's swell. I'm just not confident in that room yet to say that I can go for it and not despawn GT. I always have to wait for that door to close. If anybody's not aware, if you go up those stairs the same frame that the door from the previous room closes, you can despawn the top of the tower. There's other ways that you could despawn the tower, but like that's the most common one, and it always worries me. Like I don't want to ever have that happen. Bowl. I got 2. Double, nice. Doubles are good. 2, 2, 2. What time did I say that daily was? Was that 9 or 11 tonight? Don't walk off the bridge. That would be really stupid. Who would ever walk off the bridge without getting to the exit after killing Ganon? Oh wait, I've done that now. Cool, we won. Yo, Garrison. No, I didn't. I did it in the daily on Monday night. I was restreamed for the daily Monday night, and I did that. I was with... So Monday night's Open Boots daily, where they announced SG Live. It was Etium, GFE, and Orange. And I were the 4 restreamed runners that night. And I would have been second on the restream, possibly even first, if not for a few other mistakes. But because of the fall, I went from second to third for the restream. So I had to fight Ganon 3 times that night. Yep. So it happened for the first time. It was just funny because the announcers were Mind, Adirondack Rick, and I forget who the third one was, and I apologize to them. But it was just funny because I've heard them announce before, and it was kind of like, how many times have I heard an announcer say, all that you got to do now is cross a 1x3 bridge? And I always thought, nobody falls off a 1x3 bridge. I did it. I found a way to do it. So I went from probably about a 10th place finish in the daily out of 27 to a 12th place finish out of 27. So, you know, not a terrible. No. I was standing closer than I usually do and started holding up while Ganon was exploding. Figuring that usually if I do that, the bridge spawn and fanfare starts playing, so I never have to worry about it. Because, like, the fanfare would stop me and the bridge would spawn and I would just walk across. And I was also getting ready to hit done. So, you know, it happens. Like, sometimes you just get a day like that. I did it on a daily, which, you know, I think was fun. Just for the lols. And I think, you know, it gave some entertainment value. Yeah, it was before the fanfare. But, you know, what I've wanted out of doing dailies was to kind of get eyes on me. And, like, I think if people were paying attention, they would have seen, hey, you know, this sniper guy did pretty good. Was in the running with a good field. Like, I wasn't that far behind Etium, Orange, or GFE the whole time. I routed decently that night. So, like, you know, I'm not irked by that. I thought that we still did well that night, so I want to keep doing some dailies and get on the big stage. I would say there were still... Okay, 11 p.m. tonight is the daily. But that was the thing, like, I did well enough. Uh-oh. Yeah, that would be an interesting way. Let's see. Where is my opponent? Okay, they're about to drop in on Ganon. So not a huge difference. Yeah, I was getting ready to hit done. In mine. In that daily, and then it was just like, oops! Oh no! We got a hat throw and everything. I threw my hat down in disgust that night. Yeah. One swordless kill. I killed Armos without a sword. We did Master Sword blind. Then we had 4 tempered and 4 gold. Victorious, Sean. We did get the win. We got lucky, I think, in some regards. We stayed out of Pendant, TR, and Pendant Swamp tonight. So what could have been a little bit worrying was, or could have been difficult for opponents was, for my opponent, I didn't watch their run to know what they did. But there was, Hookshot was on Moldorm of Pendant Hera, which you would think, whatever. But the Cane of Samaria was on Desert Torch. So you needed to go into... My opponent just finished. You needed to go up to Hera, get the hookshot, go into Mire without Cane of Samaria, and get boots out of the Misery Mire big chest to then go back into Desert, get the cane, and then go clear Mire. So, a little bit of an interesting ending there. So yeah, that was not a fun ending there. But, you know, sometimes those are the kinds of things that happen. I'm glad we went into Mire. Yeah. And that was my thing, was like, I went and did Ice. Like, well, I had done Eastern first. Then I did Thieves. Then Pod and Desert. And then cleared the mountain. And got my Fire Rod and my Hookshot. And I was like, let's do Skull, and then we'll do Pyramid. And then I did Ice, because I was like, I would have preferred to have had my cane for Ice, but I didn't, so I did Bomb Jump for Ice Palace. And at that point, it was like, well, I know TR's not going to have the boots, so it's either Swamp or I dip Mire, and I said, I'm going to dip Mire just because, like, I'm not going to waste, I'd rather do a dungeon I know I need to clear eventually than not. So, like, I think that was the right call, and I think it's a logical one to make. But I could see somebody saying, "No, Swamp's the play." So I don't know if they did, but maybe I'll watch back the VOD just to see the difference, see where things shook out, because I don't think I missed much. Like, there's a few things we could have done differently from like a routing perspective. But I think we hit all the overworld checks that we would have normally hit in the order we would have normally hit them. So I'm not mad about any of those checks. 157 out of 216 is pretty good. But if they did Swamp, that might have been the difference. Because it was about an 8-minute spread between my opponent and I today. And I think a full clear of Swamp would probably take at least that. Maybe not 8. Well, inside the dungeon wouldn't be 8, but to get in, drain the dam, go in, clear it, yeah. I don't know, Garrison or Sean, tell me if I'm speaking bullshit, but that's about 8 minutes, right? Okay, they didn't actually. Okay, so I don't know where the big difference came in. At that point, it could have just been some routing. I thought we routed pretty decent. Yeah, I'm not either. I don't know enough about time estimates. I'm terrible at them. Yeah, same. I need to start thinking about how many minutes it is for me to climb GT, how many minutes it is to finish TR, Eastern, all the dungeons. I don't have that internal clock yet. Like, I can look and go, okay, I finished in 1:42 today, which is good, decent. But beyond that, I have no idea if that was a good time or not. But honestly, like, time differences are something I have no gauge on. If like the difference in time is good or not. So that'll bring us up to 17 and 18. So we're one game under 500 again. And my opponent today was a newer guy as well, so, I keep calling myself a newer guy. Am I still new now that I'm up to... How many races have I done lifetime now? In ladder? I don't think I can say I'm new anymore. Yeah, we're almost up to 140 lifetime ladder races. I don't think I can use the excuse that I'm new anymore. We're like 6 months into our ladder career and racing career. I don't think I'm new anymore. That's not a good line. So, but I think the plan for tonight is I'm going to run the daily. It's a casual boots seed tonight. So if you are awake at 11 p.m. Eastern or, whatever your local time is and you want to see a race, I'll be doing the daily. I'm not going to volunteer for restream. I'm just going to run it for fun, I think. If I change my mind, then you won't see me go live. But if you're interested and want to see me run it, and I do go live, feel free to check in, say hello. Always appreciated. But we've done 2 races today, and we won both of them. So we won that first All Dungeons Key Sanity today by forfeit, and then we won our open race. So decent little day we put together. Let's go raid somebody. I thought I just saw that Havor went live. He did. So let's go raid Havor. Will you show me Havor? Oh, that's why. It's under Havor's. I forgot. There's an S on his name. Okay, so we're going to go raid Havor. He's doing a new Game Pass game, Hot Shot Racing. That's, as I said, new to Game Pass. So go say hello. Go have fun. Maybe see you later tonight. Later.